Hey everyone, welcome back. I'm Mike, and this is For the Record. I just wanted to do a video here to encourage these new collectors to keep buying records. I had mentioned something in a previous video about possibly doing a video like this, and I've been sitting on the idea for a while. I'm not really going to go into too much detail about why or what influenced me to do it, but I will say that it was discouraging. Well, not discouraging. It was kind of upsetting to hear what some of these collectors have said with their experience with the VC or the vinyl community here on YouTube. I have never witnessed anything myself. I've never partaked in anything like that. I don't know if any of my subscribers would ever discourage a collector or say some of the nasty things that these young ladies and these guys are claiming that people have said to them. But assuming it's true, and I'm sure it is, but again, I have never witnessed it myself. But all I can do is encourage collectors, the new collectors out there who decided to take up this hobby, and don't be discouraged. Keep at it and keep collecting. Buy what you like and take chances on something that you may or may not like. But I want to I wanted to designate an entire video to you, young new collectors who may have nothing more than a crate full of records, or maybe just a small handful of records. I think that's awesome. That's just how most of us got started. It's certainly how I got started. I had a little milk crate with a few records I bought at a yard sale, and I have this. And so basically, I want to a couple things first though. I am working on doing a video. I'm thinking about doing a video series that's going to be every month. It'll be like top finds for that particular month. Like right now, I have. It's certainly not going to be all the records I'm buying that month, but it's just going to be like top finds for that month, and I'm going to try to do that all year. And I'm all set for January, so I'm hoping that I can continue that series all year. We'll see how it goes. And to all my new subscribers, I just want to say thank you. I actually just had a conversation with a new subscriber through a text. He actually lives close to me, and I think that's great. His name is Daniel. He messaged me, and then I realized he was a new subscriber, and I said thank you. And so maybe he'll be in a video soon because he lives pretty close to me. So thank you, Daniel, for subscribing, and also thanks to all of my new subscribers. I appreciate it, because this channel wouldn't be possible without all of you. Thank you. So what I did with this video about encouraging these new collectors, I reached out to a few veterans. I guess you can call them in record collecting. I reached out to a few answered the call, and others just are too busy, which is absolutely fine. So I decided to go on with this video, and I reached out to some of the newer collectors as well, and one in particular reached out and didn't hesitate to respond to some of my questions. So I'm going to mention all of these people that made this video possible. So first off, it's going to be Kate from Kate's Crates. She's the newer record collector. I can't remember how long she's been collecting, but she's relatively new. I want to say like a year or two. So Kate at Kate's Crates, thank you for answering my call, answering my questions. I'm going to move on to Christina, the Vinyl Guru. If you're not subscribed to the Vinyl Guru, certainly check her out. She knows everything there is about record collecting. Talks a lot about newer pressings that are being made, and some albums that she's on the hunt for. So I'm going to leave all of the channel information down below here, as always. So everybody can check their channels out and see if it's something that they like to subscribe to. But certainly the Vinyl Guru, she's a great collector, and she knows everything there is. And I reach out to her sometimes with questions. Ron, at the Vinyl Sanctuary. Rod, the Happy Hippie, and Brandon, Mr. Hoffam. Without all of you, without all of your input, this video would not be possible. So I thank all of you. So I asked Kate, at Kate's Crates, what are some concerns as far as being a collector? I don't know if being new at it has anything to do with it, but so her concern was the price. She's a college student, so the price has a lot to do with it. I don't have it. She says I have a lot of extra. I don't have a lot of extra money to throw at records. I like a lot of modern artists, so that means having to buy records new. It is difficult to find a used record for an album that came out less than 5 years ago. Totally understand. It is hard to justify paying $25 to even $40 for something. Being a young record collector means that I didn't grow up with many of the artists revered and loved in the VC. For example, I don't think I've ever listened to a full album by the Beatles, Pink Floyd, Kiss, or Led Zeppelin. Don't get me wrong, I do enjoy some music from the past, but I tend to enjoy music that I grew up with from the 2010s. This sort of leaves me with a wistful type of feeling, because even if I listen to and enjoy these records, it won't have the same nostalgia for someone who grew up with those records. However, I still think you can learn to love an artist you didn't grow up with and discover new things, just different than growing up with something. Totally agree. Dropping $20, $30, $40, $50 on a record for somebody who doesn't have the income, it's tough. It's tough for somebody who even has a full-time job, because generally, you have a family, you got to put food on the table, you got to supply for your family, you got to buy clothes for especially for a college student who doesn't really have much money, and a lot of your money goes towards supplies for school, I'm sure. So I just basically, I have to just say I totally understand the price issue. I see a lot of these new artists press their albums on multicolor vinyl and in limited numbers, which makes the end price higher, and the price rises as time goes on, with the album becoming somewhat of a collector's item, because they press these a lot of times in multi-different color, rainbow color, whatever. They press them on vinyl, and they're limited numbers, so they're really expensive, and they go up in price. I'd see if the album comes in more common black vinyl. I recommend seeing if not only multicolor, but see if it's pressed on normal or regular black vinyl, because a lot of the multicolored albums are limited numbers, special editions. Sometimes they're sold on the artist's website. That's not always the case, though. But I would just try to see if you can buy that artist or that particular album on regular black vinyl. The black vinyl, which typically costs less. This isn't always the case, but worth investigating. I'd also recommend going out of your comfort zone, looking into other more common and accessible artists. A lot of artists that you can buy from the 99-cent bin in the record stores, $3, $5, or $7 records. Something that's a bit more common, looking into other more common and accessible artists, not to completely go away from what you generally would collect, but go outside your comfort zone a little bit. Try to find something that might be a little more common. You could easily spend $3 to $7 for these common albums in any record store. Regarding nostalgia, it will come in time. You will create your own, as well as your music taste. You will eventually have that nostalgia. You have to experiment with different albums and artists. Don't let someone else tell you what to listen to. Buy what you know, but at the same time, take chances. You will surprise yourself in the end. So you want to go out of your comfort zone a little bit, and just kind of find something that's a little more common, a little more accessible, a little more easier to find. Not to completely take you away from a particular artist you're looking at as far as a newer artist, but just try to find something that's a little more common. And your music collection will grow for sure. So I want to take I just want to take a second and I just want to kind of backstep a little bit as far as with these new record collectors. Without we're all not going to be here forever, and we are all going to go on. And what's going to happen to our records? Well, these record collectors are going to buy them, and they're going to be the next generation collector, and I really think that's awesome. I really do. Some of these collectors, some of these music lovers and record collectors kind of get disrespected because of the equipment they use. I say, get what you can afford. You don't have to drop a ton of money. Excuse me. You don't have to drop a ton of money on a setup. If you buy an all-in-one, one of those Crosley suitcase record player, by all means, by all means. It may be something, you don't want to drop all that money, and then something you're not going to stick with. It might be something that's sort of like a passing phase. Although, once you start listening to vinyl, it's not going to be passing phase. But just in case, you don't want to drop all that money on the equipment, and then you have all these albums, and you have a bunch of equipment that it's just kind of a waste of money for you. So I say start out small. And for everybody that hates on people that use Crosley record players, I started out years ago. Not this particular one, but my very, very, very first record player was a Crosley, very similar to this one. Okay, an all-in-one, very simple, and it worked. Okay, this is what I started with. Okay, and I upgraded through the years, and I encourage you, if you find one of these at a yard sale and you know it works, or if somebody buys you one for Christmas or for a birthday present or whatever, use it. See if you like it, and then you can upgrade. And I'm going to get into upgrading a little bit in this video a little bit later, but this is what I started with. Okay, I encourage you, use it. Take that Led Zeppelin 3 in mint condition and play it. Play it until you wear the grooves out. So I'm going to go on. Hopefully this video isn't too long. I'm going to be shooting a couple of videos today. Yeah, I just want to encourage new collectors. Buy records. Listen to music. Don't let somebody else discourage you away from the hobby, because it's great. It really is. So as I said, I reached out to a few collectors, a few veteran collectors, and a few of them responded. Some other ones were just too busy, which is absolutely totally fine. I wanted to start in no particular order. I'm going to start with Rod, the Happy Hippie. Everybody knows him. If you're not subscribed to the channel, you need to subscribe to Rod, the Happy Hippie's channel. So I asked him, do you have any advice for these record collectors, for these new collectors? And he says, as a new collector, and Rod, the Happy Hippie, thank you very much for answering my call. Rod says, as a new collector, don't spend lots of money on fancy equipment, like I just said. Like the Autofont red or blue cartridge. Rod goes on to say, buy used equipment. I agree. Buy used. Vintage is the way to go. Go vintage. Rod recommends inexpensive albums. This is a good way to experiment with bands. Rod emphasizes clean your records. Take care of them and they will take care of you. Rod. Thank you very much. I completely and totally agree with everything you say. So I said, this is my response. And let me say, these are parts of the conversation I had with these fine record collectors. This isn't everything all in one, so I just want to little bits and pieces. So I absolutely agree 100%. Don't drop $300 to $500 on a turntable from the get-go. Start out small. But if you can get something around $100 or less, go for it. Vintage is the way to go. Is a way to go and get started. A lot of this equipment you can buy relatively cheap at yard sales or stores that are selling old equipment. If you get something as a gift like a Crosley all-in-one, embrace it. Upgrade later. this is what you have to start with, I recommend it. Don't let people discourage you from listening to music. These range from $100 to $300. You don't have to spend that much. You can get one of these for about $100. I recommend it. And again, upgrade later. If you can get a vintage piece of equipment, I recommend that. Buy what you can. If somebody gives you something as a gift, embrace it and use it. Let's see. Ron Haggerty at the Vinyl Sanctuary. Ron, thank you very much for your beautiful, wonderful insight. I asked him the same question. What do you have to say to these new record collectors? Advice from Ron: when buying used records, be sure to check the record condition as well as making sure the record matches the album cover. Listen, to this day, I still make that mistake. You know what I mean? I buy in bulk. A lot of times I can't see every single record, and I can't match it with the cover or with the jacket. But when you're in a store, or if you're somewhere looking at records, take the time to make sure not only is the record in good shape, but that the record matches the jacket. I make that mistake. Not as much as I used to, but it happens. It's a very easy mistake to make, and everyone has done it. Some solid advice there, Ron. Thank you. Buy cheap records and discover new albums. Great advice. Don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. Again, you will discover new artists. Some you will like and others you won't. Ron finishes emphasizing taking good care of your records. Clean your records and keep them clean. Keep them clean and they will keep you happy. Thank you, Ron. I appreciate that advice. Nothing really else to add there. Well, Christina, the Vinyl Guru, has some great advice. Very simple, very short and sweet. The Vinyl Guru says, care for your records. If you take care of them, they will be with you for your entire life. Some more solid advice. Thank you. Again, we're emphasizing on cleaning. What you buy, clean it and keep it clean. Thank you, Christina, for your insight. Very simple. Keep your records clean and it will keep you happy. I think I have one or two more. One more. Brandon. If you don't know Brandon, Mr. Hall of Fame, Mr. Hall fam, the man who plays basketball and he doesn't miss. So I asked him some advice, what he would give to a young record collector. Some solid advice here. Don't get caught up in the things that veteran collectors may get caught up in. Let me say that again. Don't get caught up in the things that veteran collectors may get caught up in. Think about that. You don't have to be too worried about original pressings. Have fun with the hobby. Go out and buy things that make you smile. Pick through the $1 bins. Pick up 10 $1 records because you like the cover art. Solid advice. Thank you. You will start to venture off down specific paths, picking up specific things, getting rid of some other stuff, picking up others. So you're buying stuff and you're getting rid of stuff and you're buying more and you get rid of that because you may or may not like it. Brandon concludes, Brandon concludes with some solid advice. Brandon feels new collectors start watching videos on YouTube and think they have to jump right into collecting original pressings. You don't have to go right out and start spending a ton of money on records. You don't have to buy original pressings. Record collecting, now I'd like to add to what Brandon said. Record collecting is a hobby. It should be something you enjoy to do. It shouldn't feel like a chore. It doesn't have to be expensive or make you buy what other people are buying. Have fun with it. Not only do I agree with all this advice, but everything that everybody has said is absolutely true. I totally agree. But the common theme is buy inexpensive stuff. Step outside of your comfort zone. Buy things that you may or may not like. Buy things you know. Buy things you don't know. Buy inexpensive. And as you go along, you'll kind of get schooled on things as you go along. But also, what you buy, whether it's new or it's a 30-year-old record, keep your records clean, keep your equipment clean, keep your stylus clean, keep your records clean, and you'll be happy. Trust me. Okay, I just wrote a few things here just to kind of finish off the video. And I really want to see these young record collectors. I keep saying young. You know, I know there's older people out there collecting too, but I've seen a lot of 20-somethings in the hobby or less. Some videos I've seen, there are some high school students collecting, which I think is awesome. I saw a video. I'll see if I can't put it in the down below. I saw this high school student. She opened a like a legit record store. It's a few years old, but I thought that was just awesome. I can't remember her name, but anyway. Let's see. So, as you may have noticed, there has been a common theme here. Caring for your records is key. Absolutely key. One solid advice is keep your records clean. I personally can't emphasize it enough. Clean your albums, keep them clean, but also you have to keep your equipment clean. Cleaning your records isn't expensive. I believe I do have a few videos that I've talked about how to make an inexpensive record cleaning solution. You can either go back and watch those videos or that video, or you can comment down below and ask a good way to make a record cleaning solution. I have some great advice I can give you. Cleaning your stylus is just as important as cleaning your records, no matter what you're using for a record player. Cleaning your stylus is absolutely important. Again, cleaning your records is super important. It's a constant battle because your stylus is constantly getting dirty. In return, it needs constant attention and cleaning. And when stylus is worn out, it needs to be changed. They don't last forever. So don't be surprised if you stylus, you start losing some of those highs and lows, and it's pretty obvious. Each stylus has a life expectancy. I can't say it. It does have a certain amount of that's embarrassing. Expectancy. It has a certain amount of hours that it'll last. So look into the specs on your particular stylus to see what the average hours it'll last. The hobby of record collecting doesn't have to be expensive, but you should invest in a few things to enjoy the hobby. It's inexpensive, but you should invest in a few things. Okay. And I can go into more detail if anybody would like. I can do a more detailed video if anybody's interested. And a few things I'm talking about, I've done a lot of views on this stuff. Just look back about like record sleeves and record cleaning solution. And I think I did this in order, cleaning the records aside, but you need a good record cleaning solution. You can make your own, and all the supplies can be found at a dollar store. Literally all the supplies, you can buy all the supplies at a dollar store. And again, you can look back at my record cleaning. I think it's called Inexpensive Record Cleaning Solution. You can make it yourself, very cheap. You should invest in an anti-static brush. They're about $15 to $20. Okay, definitely get one of these. Okay, there are good ones and there are some not so good ones. Number 3, Stylus Bubble Cleaner, about $15 to $20. I recommend the Kai, K-A-I-U brand. I have a couple here. This is Kai's. Okay. This is Onzo Zero Dust. Everybody knows this one. This is about $40-something. Okay. This about, like I said, $30 to $40 depending on where you live. It might go up to $50. And Kai is the cheapest one, and it's like 3 times bigger, and it works just as good. And there's a mirror on it, so you can look at your stylus. Okay. I recommend this one because it's inexpensive. It's less than half of what Onto Dust is. There's nothing wrong with that one. It's just it's expensive. Kai's bubble cleaner, and it works phenomenal. I use this all the time. About $15 to $20. For the anti-static Stylus cleaner, I recommend, again, the brand Kai. You can use the bubble cleaner, but also this right here. I use both of them all the time, every day. I recommend that brand very much. In time, you're going to want to invest in some inner sleeves. Invest in Vinyl has the best. They are PVC free, and they're $12 to $14 per 50 pack. The first thing you need to do when buying new albums, toss out the paper sleeves, or save them if there's important information. Certainly replace the paper sleeves with Invest in Vinyl inner sleeves. A lot of times they'll have, if they're plain, just plain paper sleeves, get rid of them. But if they have linear notes, or if it's a custom sleeve or whatever with picture stuff, obviously you keep those, but you should replace it with the Invest in Vinyl inner record sleeves. Let's see here. You're going to want to invest in some rice paper sleeves. Not absolutely necessary, but you want to at least get Invest in Vinyl's inner sleeves. Again, the rice paper sleeves are a step up. They are not absolutely necessary. I use them for particular albums, but they are not necessary. But getting Invest in Vinyl's just normal inner sleeves, you should get those. The rice paper sleeves are not absolutely necessary. The rice paper sleeves are good for like first issue, first pressing records, like rare records, you know, that are in good shape. But again, not necessary. Just Invest in Vinyl's inner record sleeves. Not necessary the rice paper sleeves. Record collecting can get expensive, but it doesn't have to be from the start. You don't have to spend a lot of money just off the start. There are all sorts of gadgets, brushes, and other stuff you really don't need from the get-go. Things that you can buy through the years as your collection gets bigger and you get more experience with it. But investing in new inner and outer record sleeves is certainly a must, and these sleeves are not expensive. They're relatively inexpensive. So, you know, in the end, you know, keeping your records clean, even the new records, that new pressings, new artists, because a lot of this stuff has like paper dust and just fine particles on them. I have never experienced that, but I see a lot of people doing videos where they buy a brand new album, they open it up, and it's just got like a plethora of paper particles, and you have to clean it. Also, clean your new records you buy from the record store. Keep your records clean. Keep your equipment clean. They'll keep you happy for many years. Invest in some, you know, inexpensive anti-static brush, Stylus cleaner, record cleaning solution you can make yourself, inner and outer record sleeves. All this isn't necessary to right off the get-go, but you certainly should upgrade with some Invest in Vinyl inner record sleeves. They keep your records clean, they keep them in good shape, and they're inexpensive. Not necessary, but they are a way to sort of upgrade from the paper sleeves that come with most of the records that are made these days. So that's really it. A lot of stuff I kind of repeated over and over again, but I just want to kind of reiterate that it's a nice hobby to have. It's an inexpensive hobby. It doesn't have to be expensive, and there are ways to do this hobby for many years, and just pick up little things here and there from other people or from your own experiences. So I just want to finish off by saying thanks to all of you. I wanted to, all the new subscribers, all my old subscribers, thank you. I wanted to give special shout out to Daniel for subscribing recently. It was good talking with you. He's a relatively new collector, so I look forward to getting to know you better, and I hope you enjoy the videos I make. And I also wanted to give a special thanks to Kate's Crates, the Vinyl Guru, the Vinyl Sanctuary, Happy Hippie, and Mr. Hoffam. I appreciate all the insight, your thoughts, and your advice. Would not have certainly helped this this video. If it wasn't for you guys, it would not be possible. I appreciate you. Thank you very much. And that's it. This video is, I guess, done. And again, buy what you know. Use the equipment you have. It doesn't have to be expensive. Don't be afraid of one of these. Okay? And as always, be kind to others. Peace.